Haaland scores 5 goals as Manchester City destroy, smash, annihilate, obliterate RB Leipzig in the Champions League round of 16. One of the greatest performances from an English side in Europe without a shadow of a doubt. And Haaland, in my opinion, with the best individual performance you'll see from a striker this season in the Champions League, maybe the best performance from a striker ever from an English side. 5 goals from him, only the second player ever, along with Lionel Messi, to score a first half hat-trick in a knockout game. The fastest player in the history of the Champions League to 30 goals. The fastest player in the history of the Champions League to 32 goals. It is 41 goals in 37 games so far this season for him. And he's already broken into the top 25 goal scorers in Champions League history at the age of, was it 21, 22? Absolute phenom. And listen, he's a City player, and as a United fan, I shouldn't rate him. I shouldn't even like him. But he's a player that I've rated. He's a player that I've admired since the first time I saw him kick a ball for Salzburg 3 to 4 seasons ago, and I knew the quality of player that he was. I knew the sheer class that he possessed within him. You could see it straight away. He's athleticism when he runs, his drive, his force, everything about this guy is nothing short of spectacular. And I remember people like Igao on the terrace talking about they think he's overrated. What does he possess? Is he a flat track bully? And for me, like, just absolutely nothing. Nothing of the sort. Wow, Porto just had a ball cleared off the line as I'm saying that. This man is beyond sensational. He is beyond sensational. And City were great tonight. KDB was majestic. The best performance I've personally witnessed from him this season. In fact, I think the best City performance of the season. Clinical, powerful, strong, resolute, and just devastatingly good. And, you know, City, I've been someone that has criticized City this year when they've needed to be criticized, but I will praise a team when they do something good. And for me, oh my God, they've hit the post and the crossbar one after the other there, Porto, my word. And for me, you've got to credit tonight, because I think if Liverpool did this, I know if Man United did it, if Arsenal did this, there would be such an accolade of love and affection and kind of beauty being discussed when it comes to this game. It would be a thing of beauty. It would never be forgotten. It would live on in folklore. And I do believe Manchester City deserve that exact same credit for what they did tonight. And Haaland, the hero of the game, to score 5 goals in a knockout game of a Champions League match. I don't think a player in Britain or a player in England's ever done that. Not in my lifetime. Very few players have done that in the history of the Champions League. This man is beyond sensational. And listen, I'm just in awe. I'm in absolute awe of how good he is. And, you know, I've said these things before. He has got the base to go on to be the greatest goal scorer in the history of football. Now, look, he's got to score a lot more goals to catch Ronaldo, to catch Lionel Messi, who's still playing at the highest level, but he's got the base for it. He's already on 32 goals in the Champions League in his early 20s. He has surpassed, by the way, today, with his goals today, he surpassed Ryan Giggs, Dzeko, Papan, Kluivert, Trezeguet, Kaká, Rooney, Griezmann, Samuel Eto'o, and Ian Robin. He is now only a couple of goals away from Fernando Morientes. He's 2 goals away from Gerd Müller. 2 goals away from Gerd Müller, who, by the way, has a ratio, almost one of the best ratios ever, 34 goals in 35 games. You've got to remember with Haaland, he's on 32 goals in 25 games. It is unprecedented, unbelievable, undeniable what this man is doing. For me, the best finisher in the world, outright. We can talk form. Rashford's form in the last few months made him the best attacker in the world on form. But at no point did I ever and would I ever claim he is better than Haaland at putting the ball in the back of the net, because this man is doing numbers that matter more than any other player that I have ever seen in my life. I don't remember, because I was too young. I don't remember Ronaldo at R9 at this age, but the only player better than him at putting the ball in the back of the net at this age was R9. Nobody else. Not Ronaldo, not Messi, not, I could name some players here. Not Inzaghi, not Shevchenko, not Henry, not Ruud van Nistelrooy, not Raul, not even Benzema. Not at this age were they as good as Haaland. You've literally got R9 and you've got Mbappe. But Mbappe, 40 goals in the Champions League. That's in 61 games. 61 games to get 40 goals is still astronomically good. But Haaland there with 32 in 25 appearances is just beyond sensational. And he deserves absolutely nothing but credit. And City overall tonight, as I've already mentioned, devastating, dangerous, clinical. And listen, we hit the business end of the season. If City are like this for the remainder, they are going to be chasing down Arsenal like you would not believe. And they are a huge, huge favourite for this Champions League title, because that is the type of form you've got to show. That will send shockwaves, absolute shockwaves across the world of football. It really, really will. Let's take a look at some of your comments here. It says, what does Igal have to say about Haaland? Now that man is a monster and a top striker. He absolutely is. He'll get called a tapping merchant, but find me, if tapping in the ball was that easy, loads of players would be doing it and they'll be scoring at his rate. He's a phenom. City paying refs and cheating again, nothing new. Listen, there were some dubious decisions today. The handball, by the letter of the law, it's handball. But we've seen lots of handballs recently not given within the letter of the law. So they caught a little bit of life there. Ederson not being booked when he came out. That was the decision that got me. I couldn't believe they gave a foul the other way and then booked Werner for moaning. And then, look, Grealish dived and should have been booked and he wasn't. But for all intents and purposes, it wouldn't have changed the game anyway. City were too good. They were too devastating and too brilliant. And look, the only cheating element tonight was the dive from Grealish, but the referee not booking or sending off Ederson is not City cheating. That's the ref making a bad decision. And do I think City paid the refs tonight? No, I wouldn't say that at all. Here it says Haaland is a monster. Yeah, he is. He's a sensation. He is an absolute sensation of a football player. And listen, you're not going to be glad if he isn't on your team. You're going to hate him. You're going to absolutely despise him. But he's just a freak of nature. In my opinion, the best finisher since R9. Some may even say better finisher than R9. He's one of the best strikers we've ever had grace European football already. He just is. Like it or lump it, he's out of this world. Credit Haaland and City, but we need to talk about the refs. And look, we will, when the panel comes out, we will definitely have a chat about that today. As I've said, I think for me, it was hard in the first half. I could see how good City were and I wanted to credit them. At the same time, as a football fan, I tweeted something and meant it. There was a point in the game where I felt like Leipzig should have walked off. I mean, by the end result, they probably wish they had walked off, to be fair. But I sort of looked at it and thought, how has that Ederson situation gone the other way? I've never seen anything like it in my life, to be honest with you. That isn't City's fault, though. That is on the referee, and the referees need to be condemned as opposed to Man City. But yeah, it's some crazy decisions going on there. And like Blue Viper says, I love it. For me, see, Blue Viper, it's not about loving it. I wouldn't love what I saw tonight as a City fan. Because if that happens to you, if that officiating isn't challenged and made better, and then you're in your semi-final game playing Real Madrid, and they get those decisions and it knocks you out, you'll be fuming. Football fans have to come together and condemn bad refereeing. We have to move away from the weak notions of conspiracies and tinfoil hats, but we need to call out bad officiating and stand together. Otherwise, all you're doing is guaranteeing bad decisions against you in the future. It's a bit like cancel culture. By keeping it around, you never know what's going to be the next thing that gets you cancelled. All you're essentially doing is assuring that at some point in the future, you'll be cancelled. because you'll never know where the bar is going to be moved to next. You need to push back against these things earlier so that it doesn't damage you in the future. That's my view. Terry 7-0, mate. Yeah, absolutely, Blue Viper. And unless you've only just arrived, I praised you massively for it. Said that I don't think the refereeing decisions would have made that big a difference. Praise Haaland for it, but it's a different conversation, my friend. So you saying 7-0, mate, means nothing. It just, all the City fans are going to laugh at you a little bit because I've been praising you the whole time, which is it. Werner was raised offside when he was 5 yards onside. Yeah, I saw that. But again, that's what I mean. It was a terrible day for refereeing in the game. But if that went in, VAR would have overturned it. So it wouldn't have been a problem. So the refereeing decisions can be discussed in isolation of City's performance and how well City did. Again, let's have a grown-up conversation about this as opposed to it being really crazy and hyperbolic and over the top. If it was a 1-0 win to City by a dodgy penalty, then maybe. But 7-0? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Should have won 10-0. I mean, it could have been anything. As soon as Haaland and the light came off, the sort of there was an impetus of the game kind of fell away, but there we go. There we go. I couldn't say the ball was actually touched. Sorry, I can't even say that the ball actually touched his game. The direction of the ball doesn't change it at all. Oh, you mean it didn't touch his arm? I think you mean his arm, not his game. Yeah, look, I think it's handball by the letter of the law. It's just what I think football fans are getting to a point where we don't understand the rules of the game anymore. 6 away from 200 career goals at 22 is insane. It is. And remember, scoring, and this is a note to all you youngsters watching. Goals are the hardest skill in football, and I can prove it to you. And if anybody thinks they can prove me wrong, I'll pay your mortgage or your rent for a year. I guarantee I can find you 500 people that can do loads of keepy-ups, loads of dragbacks. Their first touch is out of this world. They can do pure skills. They can do quick turns. They can juggle the ball on their nose. They can flick it on their heads. And they're a baller. I guarantee you can't find me more than 10 people on planet Earth that can score goals at Haaland's rate that are alive and able to play. That's your proof. Haaland and Messi, Lewandowski, Kane, and there's a handful. There's about 10 people on planet Earth, maybe slightly more, who could score at Haaland's rate. And in fairness, Haaland's the top end of that echelon. Within Haaland's ballpark, there might only be 4 or 5 people, human beings on Earth that can do that. The skills and the touches and all of that, there's thousands of people that do it on TikTok alone. What Haaland does is the hardest skill in football, bar none. The man scores goals. And to have nearly 200 at 22 years of age is beyond insane. Beyond insane. So if you can find me 10 players that have the ability to score anywhere near the level of goals Haaland's got on planet Earth at professional level, I'll pay you rent and mortgage for a year. Guarantee you can't do it. But I can find you at least 500 to 1,000 people that can do pure skills and got great techers and great touches and great passers. It's a madness. It's a madness the way he gets goals. Goals in 2023 are looked at as unimportant by a lot of football fans. I blame the parents, the dads. I don't know where they are, whether they left when they were young or they don't talk to their kids or they don't educate them. I blame the dads and I blame the mums. It's a lack of education. It's terrible. I feel sorry for you, man. I can't even say the ball actually touched his arm. The direction of the ball doesn't change at all. It's also sets the tone and direction of the game. Well, City had missed 3 clear-cut chances before that point. So I appreciate the super chat, but I don't agree with that, my friend. City were knocking that door down well before that penalty was given. Debbie Lee here says, guys, I feel Messi going there next. What, going to Qatar or somewhere or America? Yeah, he won't have that much longer left in the big leagues. He's getting old now. He's getting on a bit. He wants to get his head down, He wants to get his head down. Pep, it is a criminal taking Haaland out and not letting him break Messi's record. Honestly, that was disgusting to see from Pep. Look, Pep's thinking about the next game and resting the man. And, if he had kept him on, he'd have picked up an injury. He'd be criticized more for that. And Pep's about winning trophies, not about breaking individual records. A Guardiola worth about the price of a Twix after what Messi and Haaland did to him. He's got a lot to learn. Plus, listen, Leipzig just got. I don't even know what the word for it is tonight, but they just got obliterated. They really did. Right, I'm bringing my panel out now, people. Great panel tonight. We've got man like V. We've got Patrick. We've got my boy Nobbins. We've got Mo here as well. Of course, Inter Milan qualified, went through tonight. Posted it a few times at the end there as well. He must have been gasping for breath when that was going on. Hit the like and share button. Panel time now, people. Let's go. Oh, that's coming from V's end. Welcome back to the show, people. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all well. Congratulations to both sets of you for your teams going through to the next round. I want to come to Nobbins first, though. 7-0. I mean, I've been on the back end of one of these recently. I know how bad they feel, but how good does it feel to win 7? Oh, I can't hear you, bro. There's no mics. No. Your mic might not be turned on. Still can't hear. Yeah, come back and we'll speak to you in a second. Patrick, let me come to you first. Patrick. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for having me, man. You know what? There's a lot of tears on Twitter, a lot of tears everywhere. People always expect the bad from us, and I don't blame them. Obviously, we fumbled 3 Champions League games, and everybody was nervous, including myself, when I saw Stones playing us right back. But Pep Guardiola got it right. Stones was moving everywhere. Stones was actually gelling that team. So you know what? People can cry. I know what they're expecting. They're expecting Leipzig to knock us out so they can laugh at us. Now people are talking about refs. Let's not talk about refs, especially Premier League fans. Let's not. All of us have had bad decisions this season. All of us can point somewhere where we've been robbed. Even in the Champions League, City have been robbed many times and people have laughed. So you know what? I'm going to look at people in the eye and say I don't care about the ref decisions, because if I was in the other side, I would be in pain. But the thing is, we've been in this situation before and people have laughed at each other. So as fans, let's just unite and say, refs, stop doing some of these dodgy decisions or these funny decisions. But at the end, don't start coming here and pointing, because people want to be noble. But everybody has got decisions from the refs before and laughed at others. So you know what? I'm feeling great, Terry, and enjoying myself. And I'll be smiling all through the night while some people are crying at home.
Mate, listen, I hear you completely. Look, I remain the same. I'm very, me, I'm very unbiased. If it's a bad decision, I'll call it out as a bad decision. Equally, though, I don't stop praising Man City because you did some brilliant stuff tonight. And Nobbins, a 7-0 win, 5 goals from Haaland. KDB on fire. Talk to me, bro.
Can you hear me first of all?
Yes, perfect. Now.
Okay, excellent stuff. Yeah, no, don't know what the issue was there. I was just saying that, winning 7-0, brilliant. Thankfully, City fans are in a position where it happens, semi-regularly. So it's a really, really good thing. Obviously, total counter to what we saw in the first leg, where it was sometimes laboured at times from City, but it was just absolute domination from minute 1. Leipzig only had like a couple of half chances. That was mainly when City gave them those chances. Like I think of Rodri giving the ball away for no reason, for example. A lot's been made of the refereeing situation. Anyone who thinks that the score wasn't going to be a City battering, regardless of refereeing decisions, is living in a fairy tale world. The refereeing decisions were not relevant for this result. We were dominant before any contentious decisions took place. We would have won quite comfortably no matter what. I'm very confident of that. And the fact that Haaland got 5 goals, he's now got, 39 goals in all competitions. So he's 6 off breaking Salah and Van Nistelrooy's record of 44 goals, no comps. So yeah, it's a beautiful time because this could have been a potential banana skin, knowing City. But 7-0, done the job, and hopefully relatively easy game in the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on who you get, it could be an interesting one because it's an open season. Inter Milan are through and Benfica are through. I'm sure you're going to want one of those two teams, really, because they seem the easiest that are going to remain in this competition. Hamza, from your point of view, mate, welcome back to the terrace, by the way. How was this the best City performance of the season?
Absolutely. I think one of the best by far. If not sorry to say this, the United game also was one of the best. There's no doubt about it. And to me, I'm pleased because, listen, Terry, every rival fan wanted our downfall today. 100%. I don't care what I'm gonna say. What it is in your show, Terry. Yeah, every rival fan, United fans, Arsenal fans, all those fan base, they wanted City to be embarrassed today. I am so glad. Am I allowed to drink anything today on your show? Am I allowed to drink anything at all,
You
like
can
Red
drink
Bull
whatever
at all?
you want, anything you want, bro.
So I can drink Red Bull. And the reason why I was late on your show because I got 7 Up as well. You know? So I did both. You know what? Terry, big it up. Liverpool showed me their way and I did it. I am so happy. I've done Red Bull. I don't care. I don't care. I am happy today. Today, I don't care. The rival fans wanted our downfall. I don't care what to say. I am happy. Next round, I need to avoid certain teams. Yeah. But today, we have to give credit. This is a fantastic Leipzig team. They are fourth in the league table. Without Christopher Nkunku, they're 7 points behind Bayern Munich. And that league is so competitive. People don't know Leipzig they don't concede goals. Our Bundesliga, they're absolutely impressive. Vardy, one of the best. I believe he's the best centre back in the world. Before this game, I thought he was the best centre back in the world. I rated him so highly. I still rate him. Today, we had pressure. We had pressure. People thought that we would falter. The Lyon, the Monaco, Lala. I was nervous. I'll put my hand up. I was nervous. I'm arrogant because I know the downfall people wanted. People saw PSG failing, so they wanted Man City. We're the targets. They hate us. And to win 7-0, listen, he can't get better than that, Terry. He cannot get better than that. That's why I went to the shop to get a drink. I don't care. Today, we've sent a message to Europe. We are ready to deliver. And last year, remember I said, Patrick, we don't have a striker. Remember I said it. I needed Haaland. When we signed him, I'm ready now. We're ready for the Champions League. I'm happy. Real Madrid, I want you next. Let's go. Come on. I'm so happy today. I want Real Madrid next.
And you should be happy. You just won. Listen, when Man United knocked Roma out 7-1, I remember how happy I was because it wasn't just a win and a knockout game. It was such an emphatic win, one that will be remembered by you as fans forever. And in fact, you know, I said at the top of the video, arguably in a knockout game, one of the greatest performances by an English team. But of course, you've got those comebacks from United in a final and Liverpool in finals, Liverpool versus Barcelona and Spurs versus what are they called? Spurs versus Ajax. But this is one of them. Like for me, you could argue this into the top 10 performances ever by an English Premier League team in the Champions League. It was absolutely tip-top indeed. And V, I want to go to you first on this, but I want to get a bit more of a panel take. What kind of message does this send to the rest of Europe about Man City this year?
It's the message is a reminder. It's a reminder to the rest of Europe and the rest of the league. We've always been this. We've been rocky. We've had some challenges. Pep has been messing around with formations. He messed around with different tactics. He's been messing around with different back fours. You saw tonight we had Silva playing all over the pitch. He was right wing. He was pivot. He was playing at left wing. He was everywhere. Pep has been doing that throughout the season. It was just a reminder that he's got a vision. He's got a plan for the entire season, not just about getting the wins with the 11 that he has at the time. He's like a proper owner of a car. Terry, you relate to this. It's important to rotate your tires, right? You get more longevity when you rotate your tires. When you have the players interchanging in and out, you trust them more. You're able to rely on them later in the season. You're not dependent on the same 11. Pep's been doing that, and it's caused some shakiness, some missteps with regards to us continuously winning, but it's paying off now. It's a reminder to everyone that we have a plan for the league, for Champions League, and we're also in this FA Cup. That's what Pep's been looking for the entire time. And him subbing off Haaland speaks to that. Any other manager would have kept him on the pitch. Go get that record, young boy. Go get it. But Pep's thinking, you'll have many opportunities to break that record. I need you for the next game.
Yeah, listen, I understand that element completely. You're always one of the favourites to win the Champions League. Is there a feeling after tonight, Nobbins, that this could be your year?
Well, I think that every year, to be honest, or more in hope rather than expectation. I guess the thing for me with the Champions League has always been the Champions League is about not necessarily being the best team. It's about being the best team in the right moment. And I think that's maybe what Haaland gives us now that maybe this team was lacking before. I think too many occasions we may have played better in the Champions League, but we were still knocked out anyway. And it's because we didn't kill the game off. For example, like Real Madrid last season, even in the first leg, we could have killed off the game in the first half. In the second leg, like Grealish had a really good chance, really good save ball by Courtois, and then there was another chance cleared off the line. I can't recall. Is that not being clinical in those moments? And I think that maybe Haaland could be the perfect player in that respect. That's my hope, anyway. And I also think that maybe something going in City's favour is it's a relatively weak Champions League this year, if that makes sense, in terms of there is no overarching favourite. There is no, like Pep's Barca, or even MSN Barca, or the Real Madrid that won 3 in a row, or Bayern Munich, when they had like Lewandowski. I think every team has at least one identifiable weakness, and I don't think that is normally the case in the Champions League. So it's potentially more up for grabs, which potentially might make it harder for whoever wants to win it. I'll keep saying City will win the Champions League until it eventually happens.
No, I hear you on that. And I mean, Mo, we are going to get on to Inter a little bit later, but you must have been keeping an eye on that City score and thinking, oh my days. Yes, they've beaten German teams by a fair amount before, but in knockout games, like this kind of scoreline is fairly unprecedented.
100%. Listen, me and you, we talked about this game after the Crystal Palace game, and we said that City will definitely go through. I didn't expect 7-0. However, they are the best team in the world. I know that. Overall, I still consider Man City the best team in the world. There is a reason why they are second in the league, and they are the bookies' favorite to win the Champions League in every single place in the world. There is a reason why when you have someone like Haaland, he is a machine. He can score goals out of nowhere. He just needs the right service, the right time, the right moment. And that's the Champions League. Maybe the system in the league is different. Arsenal are ahead. They are on course not to have the best season in the league, but it looks like in the Champions League, they dismantled their group. Even against Dortmund, they look like the better team, and they took their foot off the gas a little bit, and Dortmund got a draw. But it looked like this City team, this is the year they're focused. This is the year they're ready to win the Champions League. Nobody can sit and say that Man City, because they're struggling in the league, they can't win the Champions League. Remember, Real Madrid won the Champions League without winning the league. It's the right time, the right moment. And I think this is City's year to win it, because I don't see anybody else close to them. And if they don't win it, this is the year that we should say, now it's a failure if you don't win it. Everything is ahead of you. I'm not saying that to put pressure, but there is pressure. With this performance, there has to be pressure. With this forward, there has to be pressure. With Pep Guardiola's 7th year, there has to be pressure. This is the time to deliver now. It's without, and people, I want to tell Man City fans something. Maybe everybody's looking at Man City and saying, now you have the best teams. We want you to fall, because nobody wants to see you succeed. It's as simple as that. You are the best team in Europe. When Real Madrid were winning 3 in a row, nobody wanted them to win that 3rd one. Even people that were not rivals with them, because you don't want to see the best team wins. You like the underdog story. That's the story.
V, you're shaking your head there. You don't think there's pressure?
Oh, well, there's pressure internally. There's pressure because we want this trophy. Like manager, players, many players, when asked, what do you want to do? They want to win the league. They want to win Champions League. We know that they want that. Us as fans, and I know they're not really crisp in terms of the fans on my photo, but they wanted this tonight as well. They cheered on those players for that 7-0. But Mo, and I've had the pleasure of hearing Mo over I think almost 2 years now. He said the same thing after the first leg versus Real Madrid, that the pressure's on City. City should have done more in that first leg. City, it's this year for City to win it. And that's why I'm shaking my head, because I've heard that narrative often. We're favorites when we've never won it the first year Pep gets here, and every year since. We're supposed to win it, and every year we're the best team to win it. So that's why I'm shaking my head. I've heard it before.
I suppose the question would be this. If City fans consider themselves to be the best team in the world, surely you have to be the favorites to win the European competition.
Has that ever come out of a City fan's mouth, or it's always rival fans around?
So you don't think you've been the best team in the world, like at least once or twice in the last 5-6 years?
Look. For me personally, I think that's also the issue that we've had, and that has also led to our downfall. I think this whole thing where you go on TV and even when the Champions League just starts, the first sentences Man City have to do this, have to do that. I look at the other leagues. At the end of the days, I look at the other teams and say, as much as we're good, what we're playing football, like even 2017, I told somebody, I was like, there's no way this City team is going to win the Champions League. When people count us, we look terrible. And if we meet these teams, if we meet Liverpool or this team who count us, we're going to be in trouble. Guess what? Liverpool ripped us apart with counters. And people looked at me in the pub, says, why are you not flinching? I was like, because I knew that we're not how we are playing, we can't sustain it. Yes, we're beating teams in the Premier League, but we're leaking in goals. The thing about this pressure thing is, I get it. Look, at the end of the day, you need pressure. A team like Man City, for the way they managed to go in the Champions League and dismantle teams from Germany, especially, we seem to enjoy teams from Germany. I think Schalke was given 8 or 7. So just for me, I just feel like, yes, the pressure is there, but I don't really believe most of the times that we are favorites, because there's teams in here that are more experienced than us. Like looking at Bayern, as bad as Bayern is, they know how to win it. As bad as Madrid are sometimes, Madrid, they impressed me at Anfield, Terry. I don't think, I'm sorry to say this as City fans, I know we beat Liverpool 5-0 at Anfield, but I don't think if Anfield was packed like that, because that was during lockdown, is packed like that, we are down 2-0 at Anfield, and all the Madrid players did is go down the middle and talk to each other and ripped Liverpool apart and shushed the whole of Anfield. That's just eliteness. I don't know. I just put my hands up sometimes and say, I know City is great, but looking at teams like Madrid and Bayern, sometimes how they perform in the Champions League, I give them credit. It's the same as PSG. They say PSG is great, or PSG, Neymar, Messi. But look what happens when there's pressure. We break. Let me just say one thing, Terry. I know we've won, but sometimes when I'm watching the City team, I try to look at certain things. I look at certain things in the game when we're winning. That is our concentration always 100%. Like today, after the Edison issue that happened, our defenders sort of went iffy. There was a bit of iffiness. We started passing the ball, giving it away. That's what I don't like about City sometimes in the Champions League.
I understand what you're saying, Patty. But at the same time, there's a difference between not being favourites and being underdogs. And I know by the definition of that, everyone who isn't the favourite is an underdog. But with your squad, the money that you've spent, like you should be looked at as one of the favourites every year. I mean, Hamza was saying, yes, you're the best team in the world. Like Nobbins, how do you see it? Like, you should be considered one of the favorites and have pressure.
We
on
are.
you
We
too,
are.
right?
We are the favorites. I think. Listen, we are the favorite by far. I'm being honest here. A lot of City fans, we talk down. Listen, we're favorites by far, 100%. We're ranked. Like if you go to the betting, we're 2-1 to win it. Yeah. Second was Bayern Munich. Real Madrid are third, despite having the heritage, despite having the Champions League. That is the bets. The betting is putting Man City still favorites. The reason is, I believe 100%. Last year, the reason why we didn't win it, I'm going to say this, Terry, we had the pressure in the league. So the problem is, when it came to March, April, our players start falling down like flies. Injury. Stones, we had to play him right back. He then got injured. Within 15 minutes, he was out the game. Yeah, we were winning that game comfortably. Against Real Madrid, they did nothing. Nothing. I'm being honest. I'm always frank. Yeah, they did nothing. Real Madrid were nothing. Yeah, we had them on ropes. We should have scored 7. As soon as Fernandes, we didn't have Kyle Walker. Stones comes off. We had to play a 37-year-old centre back. Game changers. Yeah, we go to the Real Madrid in Bernabeu, where we have beaten them before. We're comfortably. Kyle Walker pockets Vinicius. Game's done. It's finished. Their fans are walking out. The fans are walking out. We then had Kyle Walker missing, and we lose the game. And I said to City fan, Champions League, you need your defense all on point. The defenders have to be on point. That's number one. You cannot be conceding, because you can't do this kind. Arsenal will never do that comeback that they did against Bournemouth in the Champions League. You can't do that. Champions League, only probably Real Madrid can do that. Champions League, you need to be absolutely here. So I'm happy that all our defenders are back. Stones, Laporte, Diaz. We had to sign Akanji, 5th choice centre back, because of that problem last season. Because our players were not reliable. Because Laporte goes injured. Because Stones goes injured. So we then have to play. But now, they're all fit. If they're fit, I'm not scared of anyone. We're not scared. Why are you scared? Napoli, probably. Why are you scared of Real Madrid? They're old. They're old. I'm not scared of Real Madrid. The thing is, people have this respect because of the name Real Madrid. I respect them, yes. But we've beaten Real Madrid 3 out of 4 times. Why are we not favorites? We can win this, man. Forget anyone. If we get Mo's team, that's easy. We walk in the park. Mo's going home, 100%. Inter have no chance against us. No way. We're beating them. Mo, there's no way. You don't deserve.
No, I said
After
that.
we're going
Of
home.
course,
It's not
listen,
against
everybody will go against City. Okay,
We
anybody will
beat
be
you, but
underdogs
Real
against
Madrid,
City,
I'm
right?
not scared.
Anybody will
I'm
be
so
underdogs
mad.
against City. But listen, nobody wants to face Haaland. Nobody wants to face
Yes.
Pep Guardiola. This one thing. If you can be gassed after 7-0, guys, when are you going to be
Exactly.
confident?
It's not about being gassed. It's not
Oh,
about not
come
being
on.
confident.
I don't like
Listen,
this humble thing when you guys
you don't
when
like
we-
humble, but that's what City are.
No,
City are
no,
humble. Our
when we,
fan
I'm
base
sorry,
are humble.
V, when we talk about, when we say you're not favorites, you guys are like, we're the best team in the world. But
Well.
once we mention the word pressure, you guys go back and say, no pressure on
You're
us.
missing the point.
Come
You're missing
on,
the
guys.
point. We understand the
Say
pressure.
it
That's what I'm
as it
talking about.
is. You guys
Who
are
says
scared to
who
say
says
that.
we're the best? I've never heard anyone, and it's
Oh.
rival fans. It always come from
Oh
rival
my
fans.
God.
So, let me-
Patrick.
Nobbins, I want to go to Nobbins here. Have you ever heard City fans say you're the best team in the world?
This season or in previous seasons?
In general, over the last 5-6 years, have you ever heard that? When you were Centurions, as an
Oh,
example.
no, in general, yeah, and I've said it myself. I thought that the last couple of years, yeah, but this season I don't think we are because we're not even the best team in our own league. So yeah, in previous years, like the Centurion year, domestic treble year, even the year we lost the Champions League final, maybe last year as well. Yeah, I definitely agree. But the whole point of the Champions League is that the best team doesn't always necessarily win. I know Hamza's like getting very excited and saying how we can beat everyone. But let's not forget we lost to Leon just 3 years ago. So
Monaco.
But that was
Nobbins,
Eric
can I
Garcia.
turn, Hamza, let me turn the question a little bit. Nobbins, are you the best team that is still in the Champions League?
No.
Oh my God.
I think this is what I talked about earlier when I talked about how I feel like this is a relatively weak Champions League this year. The best team in Spain are not in the competition. The best team in England this year aren't in the competition. The best team in Germany are struggling to win their own league, which they've won the last 10 years on the bounce. PSG. The only team that's consistently performing both domestically and in Europe is Napoli this year. I would say that they're probably so far the best team in the world based on this season. Napoli. Is that to say that I should go? Therefore we can't win it because Napoli are better? No. Of course not. We can still be confident and we can still hope that we win. But yeah, just to answer your question, Terry, I don't think we're the best team in the world this year at this stage because Arsenal are better than us so far.
Yeah, but they're not. I get that, but they're not in this competition, are they?
They're not.
So
they're not. But that's not due to a failing of them this year. That's due to a failing of Arsenal last year.
I understand that, but so I'd say Arsenal have been better than you this year because of the league, but they're not in this competition. You say Barca, but Barca have just been knocked out of the lesser tournament by Man United, who are currently third. So, like, I don't know. I kind of look at it like I think there should be pressure on teams, and this is always my view. When Man United and when City and when Liverpool and when Madrid and when Barca, to name a few teams, are in the Champions League, there should always be pressure. There should
obviously.
All of our teams either not being in it or not winning it is failure. Now, it isn't the kind of failure that equals sack the manager. You've ruined our club, but it still should be a sense of we didn't achieve it because it should be a goal every year to win it.
No, yeah,
so
100%. Make no mistake. Like City have failed in Europe. Guardiola has failed in Europe at City. I'm not trying to sugarcoat that. Anyone who thinks otherwise is delusional, quite frankly. But as you say, does that mean we should therefore question Guardiola as a manager, or does it mean that like a player's legacy isn't necessarily as good? No, I think it's quite standard to say that City have failed in Europe up until this point because they have, because we've been in one final and we bottled it, quite frankly. So I'm very comfortable to say that City have failures in Europe.
I hear you on that. Well, I've got some super chats, and I want to ask you another questions about Haaland and a bit about Arsenal as well. But Lang and Sweet here says, Man City, far the best team. I'm not scared of no team. I'm scared of Pep overthinking versus and Patrick, have some chess, man. We just beat. Sorry, have some chess, man. We are the best team.
Let me answer this to City fans. You can some of you City fans can be on sugar high. I used to have sugar highs. I remember when we slapped.
Well,
one of the
Hamza's just
German
drunk
teams.
about 3 cans of Red Bull and
I
3
know.
cans of 7 Up.
I
So he's
know.
on a massive fire.
I remember. I remember we slapped one of the, I don't remember one of the German teams, and I was unbearable. But I've learned my lesson. I have been humbled. I got humbled by Madrid, and that humbling has hurt me. And Spurs, I almost cried in the pub. When I sat in the pub, I couldn't move. I didn't believe it. So I have been humbled. I'm sorry, guys. Some of you might have confidence. I have confidence, but I'm just saying, look, let's just see how games go. Let's not get too excited, say, oh, we're going to slap everyone. Because I said we're going to slap Madrid, and look at what Madrid did. That made us sit down and say we are European royalty, and you guys haven't got there yet. So I'm sorry if I'm not saying it with chest, it's because I have been stung. So I just want to keep it quiet until it gets there.
I hear you on that. This here says probably the scoreline will be the news, but refereeing reached a new low for the first 2 goals that killed the tie. What are you saying, Hamza? What did you make of the refereeing tonight? Because Ricky's mentioned it, and so has Joshua Jack here. That the refereeing needs to be spoken about tonight.
The thing is, a lot of this fan. Listen, I thought referee was fair today because when we played them at Leipzig, Vardio, the first goal he scored, he held Ruben Diaz like that, like a drill, and he could not get up. And that's a foul, 100%. That's 100%. That was a foul. And you know what? I complained. Yeah, I was told, oh, you're mourning again, like a typical Arsenal fan.
Mhm.
Arsenal fans are the only ones that have been mourning about referee. Oh, you're mourning again, like a typical Arsenal fan. I said, how can that not be a foul? We should have had probably a penalty in Leipzig. And you know what? It happened. That's a game. That's a game. And today, the first goal, I thought the referee got it right. It hit his hand, no doubt about it. Referee saw it. And these are elite referees. The elite. The European Champions League referees are elite.
Hamza, what did you make of the Edison challenge?
I
Because
thought,
that was the weirdest, one of the weirdest decisions I've ever seen, especially with VAR, because you can review it. They gave the foul the other way.
yeah, I thought it was quite. They were talking. I think Edison got away with that, but the question is, he would probably have been given a yellow card, not a red card, because he wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. So let's say, for example, if he was, which I do believe, give it to, it was a foul to Leipzig, it would have never been a red card. Never. There's no chance. Because 2 men were covering up already. And even the referee suggested. So to me, I agree. But decisions happen. I've been cheated so many times, Terry. I've been cheated so many times in this Champions League. I should be having 2 Champions League. But because of those VAR and Llorente's handball and all these mistakes, but Leroy Sané goal against Liverpool that should have been allowed. I have not had a Champions League. So I'm the first one that should be given all the decision for once at least. Let me enjoy it for once and let me
Do you think,
Champions
Hamza,
League.
do you think
People
there's a
want me not to get
conspiracy
it.
against Man City? Do you think there's a conspiracy from the referees against Man City? Based on what you just said, you're really putting it as a narrative that there's a conspiracy from your UEFA against your club. It's just what you just said.
I believe because PSG and City, because of this money that we have and because of our spending, a lot of fan base around the world don't want. They just want this elite club, this elite cartel clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona,
Cartel.
Man United.
Oh my
They
God!
want this club
What
to
is
continue.
going on?
No. I swear, I really believe that. They want this cartel club to dominate Europe, and they don't want the poor guys, the guys who are the new guys in the block.
The poor.
No, they
Did you
can't.
just
They
say
go to
poor?
Poor.
And
The
it's
poor
gonna
guys.
happen.
You
He's gonna
see
get
the
it.
poor guys.
No, we're the new boys in town. We're new, Terry. We don't
New
know
money. New
we're
money.
coming.
They don't like new money.
But money buys you success because he's bought you. Even Dwight York got you. You bought Dwight York, and you got the '99 Champions League as well. So money buys you Champions. I just need 1 Champions League. Give me 1 Champions League, then I'll keep quiet. But I've been cheated for all this year. It's painful.
You actually make me laugh. You're funny. This is it. Not relevant, but your goalie should have been sent off. Look, I don't think it. I think it's a red card if his leading leg connects with the guy, because that would have been like a chest high tackle, but he doesn't. It's a yellow card. Should have been a yellow card for the goalkeeper, but no, you're right. It wasn't given. This here says, agree, Terry, goals are the hardest thing in football. So you agree Lampard is better than Scholes and Gerrard. Glad we cleared that one up. That element of Lampard absolutely is better than the 2 of them. But I didn't state because Haaland scores goals, it makes him the best football player in the world. I said that it makes him one of the best finishers and that his goals aren't, that tap-ins are not easy because it's the hardest skill. As a midfielder, there is more to your game than just scoring goals. and you have to add it all up when you're talking about footballers. But if we're going to say which of those midfielders was the best goal scorer, of course we're going to say Lampard because he has more goals and he was the best at finishing. And that skill set of Lampard's was so good. It's what pushes him into the echelon of one of the greatest midfielders in Europe of the last 30 years. You take his goals away, the other aspects of Lampard don't put him anywhere near the top 50, in my opinion. But of course, goal scoring is a very hard skill, and Lampard's one of the best midfielders, maybe the best midfielder that we've ever seen at doing it. So absolutely agree with you there, Lamin, on Lampard's goal scoring. It makes him the best goal scorer of those three. This says, as an Arsenal fan, I want City to go all the way to the final so they take their eye off the league and get heartbroken in the final again. Mo, I want to ask you this question first. Do you think Arsenal fans will watch this tonight and think, great, they're still in the competition? Or, God, if they're this good, they're going to catch us? How do you think Gooners will review this game tonight?
They don't care about the Champions League. Arsenal don't care if Man City go and smack Leipzig 10-0. All they care about is them winning 1-0 against Crystal Palace by a penalty. That's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about them playing Liverpool next game. I don't think any Arsenal fan is going to look at this and say, no, Man City will go smash Liverpool. No, they don't think that. They want Man City to go all the way to the final and lose the final. They don't care if they win against Real Madrid 10-0 because they know they're going to do their job in the league. I think Arsenal, they will do their job and hoping that Man City will actually focus more on the Champions League and maybe rotate players in the league because it's going to get tougher from here. Not every round you're going to face Leipzig. Not every round. You can get Bayern. You can get tougher. You can get Chelsea next round. I think Arsenal fans are happy that they won that they won today. And maybe they get like a little bit, let's say, just call it cocky a little bit when they Man City. I think this is how they think. And in the chat, people are saying that.
Yeah. Blaze here says, this reminds me of when Spain beat Costa Rica 7-0. Didn't people say they would win the World Cup? City have been struggling in the league. Don't be fooled, is what Blaze says here. V will probably agree with that one. He wants no pressure on his team at all.
No,
like,
you're
100%. V still wants to be Man City from 1997. That's what he wants to be. Terry, it's so. I thought you said Terry's so strange. Terry, it's so strange. City fans saying we're upset they won. I love that City won. I hope they make this Champions League final. It's good for the Arsenal. Come on, you Gooners. That's exactly what Mo was
of course.
alluding to there. Haaland, boys. We need to. We can't sit here and not talk about Haaland. Nobbins. 38 goals this year. Fastest player to reach 30, then 31, then 32 Champions League goals. 5 goals in a game. A first half hat trick. Inside the top 25 goal scorers in Champions League history at all time. Are we looking at the greatest finisher to ever lace up boots in the Premier League? Are we looking at maybe one of the greatest strikers to ever play football on our shores?
That's a very good question. Interesting question. I think it depends on a number of factors. I think that Haaland can become that. He's already on course to become. He's already on course to, break the goal scoring record in a season. So in terms of like an individual season, he's already going to achieve that, it seems. And also in all competitions, he scored 39 in all competitions. He's always at 6 off the record in all comps, and 7 off Andy Cole and Alan Shearer's record. Sal does not have the record. It's Andy Cole and Shearer with 34 goals. In terms of will he be the greatest? It depends on how long he stays here for. The reason why I never put Luis Suarez into a list of top 5 Premier League midfielders is because he was only here for 3 years or so. You need to have the prime, the peak, and the longevity as well. If he stays here for 8 years, then and performs at this level, then absolutely, I think we will be saying that. But if he leaves, in a couple of seasons' time, or 4 seasons' time, then it'll be more of it'll be an impressive footnote in Premier League history, but it'll be a footnote nevertheless. So for me, he does have to commit and be here for at least 6, preferably close to 8, 9, 10 seasons. But if that does happen, then definitely he will break Shearer's record. And I think in football as is, I do think there are better strikers out there than Haaland. I think Lewandowski's better. I think Harry Kane is better. But in terms of actually, being a clinical finisher, I don't really see who's better than Haaland currently.
What are you saying, Hamza? Where do you rate this guy right now? Nearly 200 goals at 22. What's he going to go on to achieve?
He's special. He's special. I've been calling him baby goat, the greatest of all. He's the baby one. Messi and him and Mbappe are the baby goats. These baby goats are special talents. Man, you can't get these players. These are generational players. He is a goal scorer. When City signed him, we missed goals. If Jesus was playing for us today, would have been knocked out. 100%. Would have been. How many times have we seen Sterling and Jesus missing chances? We needed a goal scorer. This guy is scoring goals. He's broken records already. He's only 22. He's only 22. He's the fox in the box. Doesn't joke around. People compare Harry Kane. I'm so grateful we did not buy 150 million. This guy couldn't do anything against AC Milan. AC Milan. He goes in the final against Italy, England. He can't do anything. He goes against Liverpool in the final. Can't do anything. Carling Cup against City. He can't. You want me to buy a guy who will not take me to the greats? I need Champions League. I need that Benzema. I need Mr. Champion. There's certain auras that certain players give.
Grit.
People will never understand that. These guys live on big occasions. They love that big game. Pressure. They can handle pressure. Harry Kane buckles under pressure. Buckles under pressure. He loves scoring. He'll score you Southampton. He'll score against Burnley. He'll score those games. But then when he comes in the big games, Champions League, give it to him. Listening to the under pressure. This Haaland guy, look at him. Big games. Leipzig is not a joke team. Vardy was supposed to be the best talent in world football now. He was being linked with Real Madrid over 100 million. Teams are lining up Vardy. He made Vardy look like what? He looked like Michael Dubry and Frank Sinclair of Chelsea. He destroyed them. And I believe he is the elite. He's broken Champions League record. He's broken Mbappe's record already. He should have scored more than 5. But Pep took him off because he was going to break Messi's record. Messi's record was going to go. That 5 goals in one game was going to go. Guys, I'm telling you now, Messi's goal was going to go. One more. And he got taken off at 60. You know what? To me, he'll reach at that top level. He will take us to that top level. And I really hope that we win the treble. I hope we win the treble this season. And then we can respect him. Or if he brings us the Champions League, we will respect him. He's the best talent you will ever see. And he will go all the way to the top. Mark my words as I said that.
I don't think Haaland is the one to take you to the next level by himself. I think Haaland needs a supporting cast around him. You don't think so? He's not a Benzema. He's not a Messi. I think he needs a supporting cast, and I'm not sure if Haaland will go and achieve all these numbers if the likes of Kevin De Bruyne start like dropping and the likes of Bernardo Silva leaves. I'm not sure where do you go from here. I'm watching Haaland, absolutely one of the best goal scorers that I have seen in my life, because as Terry says, it's very hard to be in the right time at the right place. It's very hard to arrive at the right moment to score goals, but you need a supporting cast. And I'm differentiating him from Mbappe because Mbappe can lead the team by himself. Mbappe can lead the team by himself. PSG is different than Man City. They don't have the same talent as Man City. They're not as close. Half of the team of PSG or even more, they won't get even on the bench for Man City. And people just don't want to be honest because they have Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. Everybody else is just average for this Man City team. You have a super team, and Haaland is the cherry on the top. That's what you needed to win this Champions League. He's absolutely one of the best goal scorers I've seen in my life. But I'm sorry for you to say that he's an Mbappe's level. You can be scoring goals left and right, but there is a difference. I see with my eyes. Is he the same as Mbappe's level? I'm not sure. Patrick, I'm not sure what you think about that.
Okay, look, I get what you're saying, but even today, the first goals he scored, he had to go hunt for them. Like they were scrappy goals, but he had to go hunt for them. And the funny thing is this. Look, I always respect your ball knowledge. It's great because whenever I listen to you, you're always persistent and you're very consistent with the good ball knowledge, unlike some people I know. Look, Haaland today, the first goals, he had to hunt for them, and the team hasn't gelled with him yet. Like I keep telling people, I haven't seen what I saw at Dortmund in a while, or the teams he's been where they do 1-2s with him, then he runs in behind. That hasn't happened yet. It's happened in few games. So this is a Haaland that hasn't even gelled with the team, and Man City players themselves have openly said it, that we are not on the wavelength yet. Even De Bruyne said it in the press, but we'll get there. Now, people have to remember this. This is this man's first season, right? At City. And I have seen improvements in him where he's dropping in, playing with a few midfielders and then making space. I just have a feeling that the kid is 22 years old. Yes, I
22.
know Mbappe. Look, yeah, 22. I know Mbappe started early. Mbappe was already in the spotlight at Monaco, which is good for him. I think so for Mbappe. But this guy went to Modo, went to Salzburg, and then he came into Dortmund. He's having this other path, which is a slow building. I have a feeling that this whole behavior, people say, oh, he cannot play football or he can't be like this. I think there's going to be a time where everybody's going to eat their words and say, wow, because there's talent in this kid. There's talent. There is a lot of talent in this kid. And you're right. Tap-ins or being at the right place at the right time is rare. You know why? I'm not going to disrespect Jesus, but Jesus failed to do that for us. He used to score good goals, hard-working guy, but he couldn't do it. A few people have tried for us. They were not this incredible, not above. He's already broken the record for Aguero, who is one of our best strikers. I think by the time he gets a certain age, this guy will be a killer. And I think Haaland is more than what people think he is. Because I still think to the date of time, people are going to hate me. I still think Mbappe is not the greatest I've ever seen. I think Mbappe is just pace and power and finish. That's what he is. It's just, I run better than you, but most times when he's not given space, Mbappe struggles when he's not given space. Same as Haaland, they're just similar where they struggle in this place. I'm just saying these two guys, they will be compared. And going forward, you cannot say Haaland cannot be compared to, as I see most people in the chats, to Mbappe. If this guy is breaking these records at a point where somebody who I rate highly, like Wayne Rooney, he's already surpassed him today. And then today he was close to surpassing Messi, and he's on par with Messi.
I mean,
and
when,
Messi's
when
one
you
of the
actually,
greatest.
when you look at the names in the Champions League that he's going to surpass it. Again, people will use it as a dig at Wayne Rooney, but it isn't a dig for me. The guy's
I
passed.
respect Rooney. I respect him.
He's passed. I mean, Wayne Rooney has got the same amount of goals as Samuel Eto'o in the Champions League. He's passed Samuel Eto'o. He's passed Iron Robin today. He's passed Griezmann. He's passed Kaka. He's passed Trezeguet. He was already past Kluivert. He passed Kluivert today.
Wow.
He's passed Mane. He's passed Luis Suarez already. Luis Suarez only has 27. He's passed Rivaldo, Raheem Sterling, Mario Gomez, Van Persie, Crespo, Marcus Simeone, like Luis Figo, Higuain.
Wow.
Like you actually think about that. And again, now what he's got in front of the players with 10 more goals, like in the next 10 goals that he scores in the Champions League in front of him, he's got Morientes on 33, Gerd Müller on 34, Cavani 35, Puskas 36, Mbappe's on 40, Aguero 41, and then Alessandro Del Piero 42. Neymar's on 43. So this isn't even like
by the way, Terry, isn't it with less games? By the way, I heard it's also with less games.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, Haaland's only played 25 games.
Only.
If Haaland, for
Only.
instance, if we just pick out Neymar as an example. So Neymar, actually, let's pick Didier Drogba that's on 44 Champions League goals. If we just, I was going to get my calculator up here. So Haaland is scoring one. Haaland, it's even more than that now. Let me just work this out. So it's 32 goals he's got now. Yeah, 32 goals divided by 25 games. It's 1.28 goals per game. If he keeps scoring like this for the night, and he plays 92 games in the Champions League like Drogba did, that will be 117 goals, which would put him, as it stands right now, third on the list. However, if he scores at that rate, and he plays 183 times in the Champions League like Cristiano Ronaldo, he's tracking towards 200. Right now, Haaland is tracking towards 234 Champions League goals. It's and this is why his level needs to be respected. It will slow down at some point. Maybe he hits 32 and he falls off. But if he plays 100 games at this rate in the Champions League, he scores 128 goals. When you consider that literally he is on course to surpass Messi and Ronaldo's goal scoring ratios.
Yeah, and
that's how good he is a finisher. That's why like the him and Mbappe thing. I'm going to treat him and Mbappe the same way as I treated Messi and Ronaldo. I'm just going to say they're both great. I'm not going to slag either of them off. Neither are as good technically as Ronaldo and Messi. Look at the types of players Messi and Ronaldo were when they started. Messi's still now so technically gifted. Haaland and Mbappe can't touch him on that. And as an out-and-out winger that Ronaldo was, again, skill-wise, he was better than both of them. There's no doubt in my mind. But we're just talking about they're goal scorers. And as goal scorers, they are going to go down they are going to make it into the top 5 goal scorers in all time of world football history. And for me, I no disrespect anymore. because the football outside of Europe is so much lower in terms of standards. If you're top 5 Europe, you're top 5 in the world. And these two are both going to make their way into it, barring injuries. You even look at like Van Nistelrooy, 56 goals in this competition. Raul got 71 goals in this competition, but that was in 142 games. These guys are closing into halfway on that mark after 25, 30, 40 games. It's ridiculous. And even with like Mbappe, 40 goals is amazing. That's in 61 appearances. You know what's really crazy because of the age? Aguero, right? 41 goals. He only plays 79 times in the Champions League. It's actually crazy. Like, to think by the age he was, like, he should have had so many more games. Injuries cost him. But yeah, listen, Haaland's an absolute monster. I want to do some of these super chats here. First one says, wow, Terry, where do you keep finding these gals? That's not very fair. I think they mean delusional. I don't think they're talking about wearing. Yeah, I think
to define what egal means.
Yeah, it means delusional. When it says a gal is like a, I'm not very good at English. Nobbin's more educated than me. Would that be what would be a word to describe someone like that? Would it be a what would you call that? A noun, an adjective, a verb? I don't know. I'm really dumb.
Oh, it's an adjective.
An adjective, yeah. That's a gal is an adjective. It means delusional. It's like a If you've gone and done on a gal, it means you're being stupid.
Hamza was on 7 Red Bulls.
It's a verb, or it could be a verb.
Hamza is on 7 Red Bulls.
I'm so dumb. I don't know all that stuff. I'm so thick when it comes. I'm such a moron when it comes to the English language. It's crazy. Most city cheaty people I've ever seen. 3 of them must be fake. Chelsea will stop you again, is what Hanno says here. It says City fans humble. In fairness, City fans generally the most humble I have on the terrace. We haven't had Jan on for a while, but most City. Hamza is the only City fan I know who gives it Billy Big Balls. You're the only guy I've ever seen that talks it up, and there's nothing wrong with it, Hams. Like it just is what it is. But you're the only one I see do it, and it's good. I want to see more for that. I want to see a bit more chest from City fans. This is from Lennon Sweet.
Hold on, Terry. You got Big Steve on here with your straight facts.
Oh, Big Steve. Yeah, but even Big Steve.
He's humble, but it's from a confidence that he's still humble with it.
He's humble. That's what I'm saying. Hamza's the only one who gives it the big un about everything all the time. But that's Hamza, you're a TikToker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's what TikTokers are. Like, and I mean that with respect. It's like if you're on TikTok and you're not that, there's no point being on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. TikTok is not for sensible, long format stuff. And I mean that as a genuine compliment, mate. Man City, far the best team. I'm not scared of no team. I'm scared of Pep overthinking. Oh, sorry, I already think we've done that one from Lennon Sweet. Sorry. Patrick.
Terry, there's a guy in the comment. Yeah, there he is. I was like, he keeps complaining that, he's saying it 10 times. This Victor.
He said, when did you beat them 5-0 at Anfield?
Oh, when it was lockdown, the goal dunked on.
4-0.
During lockdown.
It was 4-0.
Was it 5-0? 4-0, yeah. 4-0, yeah. So you got dunked on. But we also beat you, I think, 5 with this. I think Sané scored an incredible goal. Yeah, I remember. So look, we have dunked on you, but I said it was quiet. That's why I said I respect Madrid for doing it while it's a full stadium on a Champions League night. So
I hear you there.
Hold that, Victor. Hold that.
There we go, Vic. This here says Arsenal don't care what City do in the Champions League. They care what they do in the next Premier League game against Liverpool. A genuine veteran Arsenal fan probably won't want City to win the Champions League as they couldn't in 2004.
Yeah.
Is he not contradicting himself with that super chat? He's saying they don't care what they do in Champions League, but a same fan doesn't want us to win.
I think he means older fans might. See, for me, my dad's weird, right? My dad tried doing this whole thing when we were kids, like, you should want the English teams to do well in Europe. Me and my brothers looked at each other and just said, like, nonsense. I never want. It's a bit. That's one of the. I don't even want European. I want no one to win it when my team isn't in it, even though that's impossible. That's why I don't get this notion of, like, when people go, well, I'm not going to wear another English club's shirt, but I'll wear a Milan shirt or a PSG shirt. The reason I've always found these things weird is I will do nothing directly that improves the position of any club that competes with Man United in any capacity. So you buy a PSG shirt, you're putting money into their pocket, which helps them keep and buy the players they buy that might knock you out of a competition. For me, doing that is again, younger football fans have been conned into, like, thinking football shirts are fashion accessories, so they spend more money. And I get it, great marketing, but when you deep it, every time you buy a product of another club, you are helping their endeavors over your own. Buy 2 shirts the same from your own football club. Give the money to your own football club or not at all. This year says, Terry, please ask all these City fans when did they start supporting City? And please name me one of the City legends. Nobbins, I go to you first.
I support City because I'm from and live in Manchester, as is my family. I'm a third-generation City fan, and my nanny was a waitress for Colin Bell, who is a old City legend, and she worked as a waitress in his restaurant.
There we go. Hamza, when did you become a City fan?
When I hated United, I grew up hating United. I know everything from the '99 history.
So you're an
I
Abu.
detested that club.
So you're an Abu then. You're an anyone but United.
Terry, I grew up hating United, and the only club.
No, I hear, and mate. So Man United fans, we call you Abu. So when I grew up in London, and I come across a lot of Abus. And what they didn't support a team; they just supported the team that was competing against Man United. So and then as they got older, they generally stuck with one of the teams. So a lot of people that grew up around me in London in the 90s. They either supported Liverpool from the early days. It was Newcastle or it was Arsenal because they were the teams competing with United. So we used to call them Abus. Anybody but United is what they were referred to as, and that's exactly what you are. You just confirmed
Call
it.
me
It's
Abu
like,
Hamza.
I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that. I'll be cancelled.
No.
Listen, I haven't met someone that started supporting the team purely out of hatred for Man United before. I haven't met someone. You the same, Patrick. You're another one.
Yeah, so the whole family was red, and my mom was Arsenal, and my uncle was Liverpool. So everybody obviously was trying to get the kids, so they would pick you up. My uncle tried Liverpool jersey. I remember still jersey. I said no, I don't want that. Something just inside me was like, I hate this team, and I hate United deeply also because it ruined my childhood. Because all I did was come after school, weekend, United posters everywhere. My dad was a hardcore fan with my brother, everybody, they all bought into it. So basically there would be a good show somewhere, you're not going to watch it. I'm sorry, you're not watching it. You're not going to watch it. And that time in the TV in my country, you couldn't record. That means you miss it. So you miss everything. All we're hearing is you.
None of that. It's only been the last 10 years in England. Your TV would record when we all grew up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So that was more painful
as well, right? See, your dad fouled like my dad to get you to support the team he supports.
He did. Do you know what he did? By the way, he never even.
We have weak fathers. Me and you have weak fathers because if my children can come home and tell me they're converting to another religion, even though we're not religious. They can go, I'm going to become Muslim. I'm going to become a Buddhist. I don't care. They can tell me that I'm gay. I'm a lesbian. I don't care. They can tell me they're going to go on safari for 10 years, uni. I'm going to do whatever. I don't care. As long as you're happy. If they tell me they're not supporting Man United, they will get out my house and I will never speak to them again. It's the only thing they're not allowed to do, my children. Is
he tried. He used to just buy I remember he bought us shirts with my brother that were matching, and I refused. So something just told me no, and I used to refuse badly at the point where I used to say no, I don't want it. I remember I said, I'm not going to church. I'm not going to wear that after thing. So he just gave up. Then boom, ended up a City fan. So that's it. I think one of the Martin is pissed off. He says this is the first show City fans are being asked to say when did they start supporting City. He's very pissed off.
I mean, in fairness, it says super chat. I didn't say it. This says I think older fans don't find Haaland that exciting because we've seen Messi and CR7. Do it already over time, its rating will increase based on longevity. But this is what happens with every generation. And then this young generation, this is their goats coming through. And then they'll feel the same in 10, 15 years' time. And it goes on and goes on and goes on. This here says, Pazza Inter really kicked it at the end of extra time. What a save from Onana at the end. Dumfries defended so well today. Yeah, Inter through. How impressed were you with your boys tonight, Mo? I know because I was watching.
Game.
It was a bad game. I was watching it more than the City game once City went 6-0 up. And
someone just hacked into my Twitter account. So
oh wow,
it's okay. It just got a message. I don't know. Someone just hacked into my Twitter account. So anyway, I'll deal with this in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I just there's a lot of information there. So anyway, it was a terrible game. It was not a great game at all. The game was kind of boring a little bit defensively. Both teams they don't have the quality of this Champions League, that's why people are saying this Champions League is weaker. I'll support my team any day of the week. I'm happy after 12 years being in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. We haven't been in the quarterfinal since 2011.
Wow.
It means a lot of money. We are a big club with a history in this competition. And at this point, we struggled to get through, but we got through, which is all what matters, to be honest. That's all what matters. And it's as simple as we went through to the quarterfinal, and we get anybody. I just don't want to get Man City because it's the only team that we can play against. It's just they might dismantle us. It's just very hard to play against a team. Man City, especially on form, Man City are very tough in 2 games. As simple as I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying being in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, and I hope that we can go through. We can get a Milan derby in the quarterfinal. Would be absolutely fantastic for me, for the viewers as well.
There's some interesting teams left in it, with both Milan teams that are not looked at as potent, but you got 3 Italian teams going through, because I'm pretty sure Napoli are already through, are they? Yeah.
Not yet.
They'll go through. Obviously Benfica are in that mix as well. So there's like 3 teams there already where you look at it and go, I think the Premier League clubs that will go through will be going, I wouldn't mind a little bit of that. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be some real interesting quarterfinals. And plus, I love the quarterfinals because it's only 1 game on at a time rather than 2. Because I hate the fact that we miss games. Like it's actually ridiculous that they have them on at the same times. At least with the Europa League, they do 1 early, 1 late, and you can watch both games. Like it's actually crazy that they still have games on at the same time when you think how much we pay to watch it. But there we go.
Sorry, Mo, real quick. What did you think of the first leg?
It was
you
just
happy with that?
we dominated Porto. We should have been 2-3-0. This guy,
Okay.
a Man United target. This guy Costa. If they get him, they get one of the best goalkeepers I've seen in the last 5 years or something.
Okay.
This guy is absolutely phenomenal. He's ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. This guy. It's just kind of strange that people should be after him. I've watched him today. I've watched him. He gets off the line really quickly. He's absolutely a great goalkeeper. The mistake he did in the World Cup was just a fluke. This guy's a monster, a goalkeeper. If Man United get this guy instead of De Gea, people gotta watch out.
He can use his feet as well. He can use his feet.
Oh my God, his distribution, Terry, is astonishing. He's like Edison, but right-footed. He is so good.
That's
with
big
his
praise.
right foot.
That's big praise.
Oh my God! Today he was pinging ball under pressure, pinging ball like Edison does, like left and right, on point. I haven't seen someone like this since Edison came to the picture, to be honest.
Yeah. I like the look of him. I like the look of him indeed. Terry Haaland probably won't slow down and will hit your projections, as we all knew he will at Madrid in 2 years, as per his agent. Look, he could be there in a couple of years. We will see. City fans certainly won't want to see that. But look, I think it all depends about the trajectory of the Premier League. I actually think if United come back to challenging, Arsenal were there, Liverpool bounce back, I think that will keep him in the Premier League. If here is where the best football and the best managers and the most competitiveness is and the most money is, he'll stay. However, Real Madrid is still Real Madrid, and the lure is massive. But we'll see what happens there. Gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for coming on and having your say. It's just probably fitting for the biggest City result that I've ever seen. We have the biggest City reaction show that we've ever seen, with the most amount of City fans ever at one point on the terrace as well. So thank you all for coming on. More of this to come as we move forward and we really sort of supercharge our match reactions moving forward. My super chatters, my members, my subscribers, you're absolutely amazing. Back tomorrow with more content for you in the morning. Big Steve in the afternoon for another episode of Straight Facts before we watch Liverpool get annihilated by Real Madrid. Hit the like and the share button. Make sure when you subscribe, you could turn on the bell notifications as well. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.